What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Spitfire Podcast. I am your host, Lauren Lemunion, the Spitfire Coach, coming to you with another episode of inspiration, motivation, and the hacks to help you get happier, more successful, and have less stress in your life. And today I am coming to you with a big old tip. It slapped me in the face. You ever been slapped in the face by a tip? It's not fun, but it's oh so worth it. Just make sure you have a Band-Aid ready to go. Today I had a session with my coach. That's right, I hired a new coach to help me with my promotion, with webinars, with getting myself out there, to stop making excuses and start helping people, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help people. And as I was talking with her about this new course that I've created for certified coaches and my methodology and how I love working with people, she started asking me questions like, what material do you have? What things do you have? And I couldn't answer. I was like, I don't think I have anything. And she's like, well, tell me about some other stuff you have. And I'm like, well, I wrote an ebook here, and I love to create worksheets, and I've got like 20 over here, and I've got like this vault that I've created. And she's like, can you just listen to yourself? You literally have amassed an entire library of things that can help people, and you've been holding back on this? And I was like, well, I didn't think it was a big deal. Why would people care? And here's the thing. People care. If it meant enough for me to create it back then, there was a reason for it. And so just because it's not top of mind now doesn't mean that it doesn't matter now. And in fact, I would say it matters more now than ever, because my brain was clear of distractions and worry and fear and everything else that was happening. So I went through and I started documenting all of this stuff I have. Like, I'm talking about when I first started coaching, I did nothing but create content. And I saved it, which is great. So I probably have like 30 or 40 different workshops. I've written 4 different ebooks in addition to my book, Spitting Fire. So I just wasn't paying attention to it. And then it hit me. She's like, well, do you have a Facebook group set up? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, I did have one for my Spitfire Circle group, but that was for small business owners. That wasn't for coaches. And as I was setting up a new group, do you know what I found? I found a group that I created 4 freaking years ago for coaches to help them in their coaching business. And there are 127 people on this. And I'm just like, all right, I hear you, universe. I hear you, coach. I need to pay attention to these things. I have been so set on the future, on moving and working with corporate clients and leaders, that I had forgotten about this whole past life that I had spent really working to support coaches. And everything happens for a reason. The reason may not be right now, but the reason can plant the seed for a future program, plan, or value. If it mattered enough for us in our past, it can matter in the future and in our present. And it's not up for us to know when that's going to happen, but we need to know that it's there to be able to capitalize on it. And I'm so happy that I had this spotlight on this magnifying glass for me to see all of the work that I've done, because I go in hyperdrive mode. I'm just like, I want to create all of these things to help people, and I want to keep it moving, and I got to go to the next and the next and the next. And so many times I forget to do exactly what I say to my clients, which is to stop and look back and reflect and take stock on where you've come from, where you started, where you are now, and what you've been able to accomplish. It's more than we ever thought was possible. I mean, I'm working with clients and I'm like, there's no way I would have been able to work with them. I'm making money that I never thought I would be able to make. I'm being featured in places and I'm like, why am I on CNN and Reuters? Why am I being interviewed by the Washington Post? This is bananas. Why am I performing twice a week in my living room and being a singer and a rapper and an entertainer? Who knows? But it's not up for us to understand the exact outcome. We don't know. We have no idea the journey that we are going to go on. We have no idea how the experiences that we had 10 years ago can help us in 20 years, or when it's going to happen. But we have to trust that whatever it is we're experiencing, good, bad, ugly, and different, it can help us along the way. But the key part of it is the ability to step back and reflect. If we continue going 1,000,000 miles an hour, we are going to miss so much of the good stuff. We're going to miss so much of the value. We're not going to take stock on those nuggets of wisdom, on that growth. And that's what all of this is, to know where we came from, to where we are, and to where we can go. That is self-awareness and growth, and it is beautiful. But if we don't give ourselves that time and that space to breathe, to really absorb it, and to allow it to fill us up, then that's where the chase for external validation comes from. I mean, part of me went on this call with the coach today thinking that she was just going to tell me how wonderful I was and here's all the things that will make you even more great. And she didn't do that. She said, okay, so what are you going to do differently? What are you going to look at? And it was the best opportunity for me to just mirror my own behavior and see how that could be showing up with other people. And I know that I have to step fully into this presence as the Spitfire coach to allow others to do the same. And so whatever it is that you're hesitating or that you're avoiding to see is the missing piece on how you can activate other people in your life. How you can see the value in yourself will allow others to see the value in you. And it doesn't matter at that point, because if people don't see value in you, they are not meant for you. Even if they're family members. They are not meant for you. They don't get to evaluate your value. You get to determine that. But in order to do that, you got to take stock. So your prompt for today is to take an inventory on everything that you have done in your entire life. I don't care how big, how small, how minute you think it was. I want you to peel it back. Start with your LinkedIn profile. Look through the jobs that you've had. Look through the experiences you've had. What did you learn in the process? What did you create? What relationships did you build? So this isn't going to just take you 5 minutes. In fact, this is going to take you multiple days. And when one thing pops up, another thing may pop up. But I want you to first start with 30 minutes. I want you to start a timer for you to just start documenting your accomplishments, your value, what you bring to the table. I want you to create your own self-hype squad. But first, you've got to start taking stock of it. So if it seems small, I don't care. Write it down. If it's when you learned how to parallel park, write it down. If it's when you learned how to use Excel and the sort feature, or when you learned how to do a mail merge, go for it. If it's when you learned that, a certain button does a certain thing on your remote, go for it. This is an opportunity for you to celebrate you. This doesn't need to be for anybody else. This is all about you. And this is the biggest piece that I've learned, is if we have not filled up our own cup, if we do not build our own awesome Sunday, it doesn't matter how many sprinkles of compliments and validation we get from other people. It falls flat. It doesn't stand up because we haven't created the internal structure to support it. So this is the first point to do it, is to start taking stock. And every time you learn something new, every time you create a new relationship with someone that you're like, hell yeah, that was awesome, or you read a book and you learn something cool, write it down. If you are not documenting the awesomeness, the evidence for awesomeness, who else is? No one is going to give you a breakdown, a recap of the year and tell you why you were awesome. I mean, Facebook tries, but they're only going to give you about 3 snapshots, and that ain't the full story. You have to write your own story, but in order to do that, you got to get the facts right. You got to get the whole story. And so if your lens is only pointed at what's been going wrong, that's not the real story. That is a jaded and biased story. You need to fill up your evidence book with all of the awesome things you have going on. And the more you see now, it's going to exponentially grow, and it's going to attract in more of those experiences. And I know that it's hard right now. I know that things are tough for business owners. I know that things are tough in families. I am screaming probably every other day. I am frustrated too, but we've got to be working on the other side. We have to start building up our coffers of what's going good, or else we're going to see everything that's going wrong. And I need some soldiers for good. I need some optimist soldiers going out there and lighting some fires of empowerment, because we need it. We are in a hard time right now, but we can prevail. We can make some awesome things happen, but it first starts with ourselves. We've got to make sure that our cup is full before we start giving out drinks to other people, and probably not sharing the same cup because, coronavirus and all that stuff. So that's your assignment. Set 30 minutes today. And I want you to just start making your list of awesomeness. All of the things that you know how to do, all of the things that you have learned, why you are awesome. And if you want to send me your list, I would love to see it. I want to see like at least 50 things on it. How about that? That is your task. Yeah, you don't even get a minute per awesome thing. You're going to do about 2 per minute. with a little bit of time to, deal with hand cramping and that stuff. But that is your task. That is your assignment. I know you can do it. And you guys keep being awesome.